Hello, how you guys doing? James here. I'm gonna make a video and I'm gonna show you from my phone, then I'm gonna show you from my tablet. And it's going to be from two websites. And it's a recently thing that happened with some young girls at the school. It's been on a popular uh, media. In fact, I don't know if the girls ever got suspended, if they ever got suspended or what. But this is something that, people say that we should get over it. People say, well, maybe you're making something bigger than what it was. That the past is the past. You had people like this one commentary I'm going to put towards the end, what he says about Ron DeSantis. And it was really, really profound what he said, and what was this woke agenda is about. Before I do that, oh shoot, let me get my phone back. I'm gonna show you a video right quick, and this is this. Blackface in Hollywood has never been funny. People are just admitting. And you've been seeing that quite a bit, right? About people doing blackface. And it was supposed to be a thing of the past, right? Back during the time of the Chitlin circuit, so to speak, in the 1920s and 1930s. Then I've done video about it, about internationally in other countries. And apparently, and like I've always said, that there's a segment of people that they always seem to target to be mockery of. And that's the people with the darker complexion. And so they do it because they say it's no big deal. And some people say, well, James, that's just the past. And we in this country, we in denial. We don't have no regards of how other people think or how other people feel. We don't care if it traumatized somebody. We don't care. We don't care if it traumatized. It's just a funnery. We don't get it that people, when it comes to certain groups of people that have holidays by ethnic group, that is basically to celebrate. But every now and then, the spirit seems to rise against this one particular ethnic group. Now, in America, we have all celebrate all different type of holidays. But I'm gonna let you hear that. First, I'm gonna hear. He made a 3-minute video. Then I'm gonna take you right to what I'm talking about. And this is what America wants to do.
Now you've heard of the dog whistle wokeness, woke ideology. You've heard all that from the GOP, Republican, far right wing people. It's a term that Ron DeSantis and legislation that Ron DeSantis passed in Florida in order to promote his agenda. And he was forced to give a definition. He had to legally to give a definition of what wokeness means to him and his administration. And what he says that it means to him is, dog whistle. It means the belief that there is systemic injustices in America and the need to address them. That's it. The belief that there's systemic injustices and the need to address them. That is what wokeness means to Ron DeSantis. And remember, folks, that is what he is against. He is against the belief that there are systemic injustices. Does that sound like white people to you? Because ever since the first African was enslaved, it wasn't considered injustice by white folks. We've always denied that. We've always denied the legacy of slavery, haven't we? Isn't that what we've always been good at? Denying our racism, denying our white supremacy, denying our white privilege, denying all the racism that we see from police and from all around the country, from Karens, deny, ignore, gaslight. That's exactly what his whole entire platform is all about. White nationalism. It's a dog whistle, folks. Wokeness is just another goddamn racist dog whistle to encourage white people in a culture war. A culture war where you have anti-racism on one side and you have racism on the other side. And Ron DeSantis wants to keep things the way they are. And he is saying there is not any problems racially in this country, and if there were, you'll never get me to acknowledge it, and you'll never get me to stop denying it, because this is what white America is based upon. This is what white America was built upon. White nationalism, white supremacy, and our culture of gaslighting, denying, and perpetrating racism, and we will continue it. That's the whole goddamn thing, the fascism, all the shit that he's doing to Floridians right now. He wants to bring that on a national level as your president. And he may very well do it. In my opinion, he's the most dangerous person in America right now. He makes Trump look like a fucking angel. This man is extremely dangerous fascist, racist. And he's smart and he's clever. And right now there's a pivot. The evangelical Christians are pivoting toward DeSantis. The racist conservatives, they're all pivoting toward DeSantis. It's so funny. The Christians are always worried about Antichrist. Then when they show up, they fucking run to him and worship him and kiss him. The hypocrisy.
But you think it's so? That's what I just showed you was really, let me see. Here's the video, and I'm gonna do a short segment on this video, and the question is, copyright 1976. This is for teaching purpose only. This young man, what he pointed out in this video is excellent. Good point. Watch what these girls do in this video.
There's a song that Mariah Carey came out with, I think back in 2009 or 2010, called Obsessed. And literally the first lines of the song of her is saying, "Why are you so obsessed with me?" This video in which you're about to see is the epitome of that. Every Black History Month, there has to be a group of these palm-colored semen stains, these dried up pieces of bird dookie that literally go out of their way to show their worst side, which could probably be any day. It doesn't have to necessarily be a day in Black History Month. But they really go out of their way to show their unnatural ass. So this is a video from a school called
It has been used to demean and rob Black people of dignity. And it's a part of American history. Blackface started in the northern United States in the minstrel shows of the mid-19th century. The white performers darkened their skin with polish and cork, mimicking southern slaves, portraying them as lazy, as ignorant, as prone to crime. You don't need to be an expert to know that those stereotypes haunt Black people in America to this very day. Back in 1830, Thomas Dartmouth Rice developed the first popular blackface character, a happy-go-lucky plantation slave. That character's name was Jim Crow. That name was later used to describe the system of laws that treated African Americans as second-class citizens all across the South. And after the Civil War, as Jim Crow laws took hold and the KKK used violence to keep African Americans disenfranchised and in fear, minstrel shows exploded in popularity. Even Black performers put on blackface. In many cases, it was the only way that they could find work, that they could make money. America's first feature-length movie, Birth of a Nation, depicted the Ku Klux Klan as heroes, and its villains were black men, played by white actors in blackface. Al Jolson put on blackface in America's first film with sound, The Jazz Singer. Actors like Shirley Temple, Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland, all performed in blackface. But even as America grew more sensitive to what blackface meant and what it meant to African Americans, people kept using blackface. Remember that Virginia Attorney General
But some people say that was the past. Some people say, well, that's just the past. That was just a couple generations ago. Look what the generations are now from the past do.
School called St. Hubert's in Franklin Town in northeast Philly, where these white girls, white young women, your future Karens of the world, who decided that it would be a good idea to spray paint this dark spray paint or whatever she's spraying is on this girl's face while yelling out these obscenities. I'm just going to let the whole thing play through and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
You're a black girl! I know you're rude! It's February! Your mom is never letting it work. You're nothing but a slave. After this, she's doing my laundry. Just takes this shit, bro. My mom just texted me.
The past.
So you just heard that and you saw that. So you have this one right here in the red, literally spray painting. I'm guessing that's her friend with this black spray paint, which definitely cannot be safe at all. But you know what? In this case, I'm willing to make an exception. If this woman was to, I don't know, keel over from spray paint poisoning, I guess in the words of Rob at Blacklight Revelations, the world will most definitely be correct. I don't think the earth will shift its axis in order to accommodate her any longer. It's too bad that her eyes weren't open when she was spraying this spray paint in her face, because, you know, if her eye sockets were just to happen to bleed and her eyeballs were to fall out of said sockets, then, you know, hey, she brought it on herself. But you heard what this one right here was saying as she was spray painting this chick's face. She says it's Black History Month, go to your room, you're not a slave anymore, this, that, and the third. And I think one of the girls that was recording it was saying that this was racist. It was kind of hard to make out a little bit because she was laughing as she was talking. But the fact that she even said that, and that's what she said, lets you know that they are well aware of what they are doing. They are fully well aware of what it is that they are doing. No longer can they say, oh, I didn't know this, oh, I didn't know that. That is a bunch of crap. They are old enough to know, and they're doing it right now. And then you fast forward to the end right here, where she says, I'm black and I'm proud. I bet she wishes that she could say, I'm white and I'm proud. The fact that she went and said, I'm black and I'm proud while mimicking and mocking black people just shows you how much little pride she has for herself. That's a lot of self-hate she has as far as I'm concerned. That's fine. Because if I was a PC individual, I wouldn't go around yelling that I'm white and I'm proud either. Let me tell y'all something. This is how they act when they are not around us. The ones that work with you, the ones that go to school with you, the ones that think they're so buddy-buddy, when they go home, that's what most of them are doing. I'm taking the gloves off. I don't care. People can say, oh, that's not all of them, or that's not most of them. That's BS. That's crap. We have seen too many examples where we can no longer say it's just some. and they look like they were born in the early 2000s. So we can't say, oh, this is just a generational thing. Oh, with the old generation, when they go, then the new generation is gonna, let this all.
There was a time when the world whispered, when quiet blanketed the meadows.
Oh, then the new generation is gonna, let this all die off. Does this look like do they look like they were born in the 50s or the 60s or even the 70s? These little bitches, yeah, I said it, are younger than me. They were born in the 2000s. This is their mindset and it carries over. When I say not far removed from their ancestry, this is another example of what I mean by that. Because what they're doing right here is exactly what their ancestors used to do. Where do you think they got this from? This is going back to the minstrel show, the vaudeville shows, blackface, Birth of a Nation, the D.W. Griffith version. That's all this is. Well, we're not blind, but these are young PC women doing this. Not shocked by that either, and nor should anyone else be. Black people are just going to have to come to grips and accept that this is just who they are. If y'all have already accepted it, hey, it is what it is. I know a lot of people are scared to call this out, but I'm not. And the fact of the matter is, it needs to be way more. Maybe if we call it out more, that could be a stepping stone going forward. That's one thing that's keeping us staying at square one. We don't know how to call out these individuals properly. Now, I don't know what's going to happen to them. I know what should happen to them. I'm not going to say it on here, but I know what should happen to them. And see, the thing is, they can't use the excuse, oh, it's Halloween. Halloween's in October. All the way in the fourth quarter. We are still in the first quarter of 2023. You can't use that as an excuse, but they do this every single year. First, it was that Black History Month van or truck down in Miami, that police cruiser. And now this, and I'm very sure there's more. As a matter of fact, there is more, because I think there was some school that they said they served waffles, chicken, and watermelon for some Black History Month program. They do that every year. Every time there's Black History Month rolls around, they do what they did in this video. They do the watermelon and chicken thing. That cruiser, that one's a brand new one. I never seen that one before. Or they do the mock slave auction. I'm recording this on February 8th, 2023. We got a couple more weeks to go left in this month. I'm curious if they're going to do the mock slave auction thing, because I remember they did that. Was it last year? I think it was last year when they did that. Every year. We just mind our business, and they cannot keep their nose out of ours. I hear a lot of black people say we need to separate. Here's the thing. Mentally, I think many of us can definitely separate from them. It's the physical part that is the problem. Mentally, they can't separate from us. Because then, if they could, why is this going on? But if we call this out, we will be called sensitive. We will be saying, oh, you're looking too much into this. It's not that deep. That's easy for you to say when you're not the one being mocked. And I think what also gets me is when she said I'm black and I'm proud. That's a very iconic, not only saying, but it's a very iconic song from one of our icons. So not only was she mocking a common phrase that many black people used to say back in the day, because it was at a time when black was made to be seen as ugly and inferior and negative and dark.
You dig what I'm saying?
But that's also spitting
Blackface
in the
is
face and on the
widely offensive
grave
and unacceptable.
of one of the most iconic musicians of all time,
But these
artists of all
comedians
time,
managed
the
to avoid
godfather of
large
soul, James
criticism in the
Brown.
past
So that's
for using it as
disrespectful
part
to
of their
him.
skits. Why is it appropriate for some to do it?
When he
and
came out with that
not
song,
others?
that was a huge
Traditionally,
anthem
that
for black people
blackface,
back in the
even
day.
in
And it's
comedy,
perfect
was
because
not
that's,
accepted.
if
It was
I
very
got my
negative.
dates right, I
So
believe
why
that's
don't you get a job and go to work? No.
As far as Saturday Night Live, the depictions of President Obama, I think those may have been more accepted because they weren't necessarily trying to show him in a stereotypical manner. It was for the sake of humor.
Saturday Night Live had Fred Armisen, who is of Venezuelan, Korean, and German heritage, portray President Barack Obama while wearing darker makeup for years.
Even though I always thought I was born here, lately I'm beginning to have my doubts.
Robert Downey Jr. received little backlash when he wore dark makeup in the 2008 film Tropic Thunder, a satirical take on white actors portraying non-white characters.
Because they had one good part in for a black man, they gave it to Crocodile Dundee.
Pump your brakes, kid. That man's a national treasure.
The history of blackface is painful and rooted in racism. Nearly 200 years ago, white performers began painting their faces to mock slaves.
Traditionally, blackface instances that have been discussed in the media, black people were portrayed as being lazy or not as intelligent, and so that's why those particular representations were negative.
Many other comedians, including Ted Danson and Sarah Silverman, caught heat when they appeared in blackface.
I look like the beautiful Queen Latifah.
And some of those forgotten pieces are being resurfaced through a more critical lens.
No more blackface!
Many of the cases that we're hearing about now, they were actually exposed on social media platforms. So maybe traditionally we would not have heard about these cases, but someone in doing some research, they find a photo in a yearbook, they're able to share that on a website. Traditionally that may have been swept under the rug. So social media platforms are very powerful, and they are playing a role in getting the word out on what's going on in society as far as blackface.
On Instagram, television host Nick Cannon resurfaced performances by late-night hosts Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel.
Carmelo read on TV about white people getting deducted by aliens.
Some people are asking if wearing blackface is ever acceptable, like dressing as your favorite musician or celebrity for Halloween.
And that is cultural appropriation, which is not accepted when you're just dressing up for the sake of it. You think it's fun, you think it's funny. But you don't really know the history of that particular culture that you're attempting to replicate.
When I was a kid, that was okay as long as you were dressing up as like a character.
If you have to think about it and ask if it's okay, then it's probably not okay for you to.
I believe that's right around the time of the Black Panther party, the Black Panther movie. What's going on around that time? So it fit perfectly when black people were really starting to embrace their natural selves at a time when it wasn't seen as acceptable. And you got these bitches literally making a mockery of it. But dare we make a mockery of anything tied to them? Then we'll be seen as anti-white. Yet you got people like Mark Dice, I'm not holding back today, online talking about there's a war on white people. If you don't get you know what, there's actually more to this. This isn't the only video. There's another video I'm going to show y'all. Hold on. Now here's another video right here. I'm not sure if this is tied to the video that y'all just saw, but I'm going to read the caption first. She says, so who's going to get their friend before I slap the bullshit out of her? White girls might as well screen record because I know y'all going to show her white ass anyway. SMH raps for you, sis, and they put a crying laughing emoji. Now, this is only 3 seconds long. Listen to what she says, and she got a pink do-rag on.
I got the do-rag on. I got the power to say nigga.
Y'all heard that. I got the do-rag on. I got the power to say nigga. So that's all it takes now. Put a do-rag on, and all of a sudden, you got your N-word pass. This is why I did that bed-bucking video on Kai Cenat recently. For those of you who missed it, the reason why I did one on him is because he allowed this white girl or this white woman to say nigga in his video or on his Twitch stream. And I said, y'all making it too comfortable. And now, a couple days later, what do you see? This palm-colored semen stain from Palmdale puts on a pink do-rag a Pepto-Bismol out do-rag and says, I have a do-rag on, I got the power to say nigga. That's all it took. Apparently, that's all it is. Again, I don't know if this is tied to the previous video. All I did was I scrolled down and this was in the thread where the video that y'all just looked at was at on Twitter. I keep telling y'all, this is who they are. This is who they are. This is who they were born to be. This is who they will be through life, all the way until they have that casket closed on them and buried 6 feet into the ground and the dirt is thrown on top of them. And then if they have kids, most likely, you would hope not, but most likely, as it seems, with them, their kids are going to carry that mantle. Just going dying out with the old generation, my black ass. Again, all of these female, and again, notice another thing, white female. They be the worst ones, because they be the sneaky ones. These heifers got pretty much all access to affirmative action, something that was supposed to be set aside for black people, especially black men, and they came and snatched that away. They want to claim minority status because they're white women. I wouldn't know, not by the way those exit polls looked when it came to 45 back in 2016. They look pretty majority to me. Those in charge of the suffrage and the feminist movement, first, second, and third wave feminism. So when you take all of that into consideration and you look at this, are you surprised? Because I'm not. Then you got black men that will praise people like them, giving them N-word passes. You got black women that'll align themselves with them to take down and break up the nuclear black family and a host and gang of other things. Meanwhile, they get to go home to their families, their nuclear family, and what are you left holding? The bag filled with dust. But this is who they are. I can't stress that enough. I can't stress it enough at all. We be, like I said, we be minding our business, doing our own thing, and then this is how they love to come at us every chance they get, every single time. Again, we cannot hang our head on the thing of it's just some. It's past some now. When you see stuff like this, you gotta almost assume that that's how many of them are. Of course, they're not going to show you this to your face unless they are that bold to do so. But behind closed doors, which is what all of these females was doing, you gotta assume that's just who they are. But the bold part is that they put it online. Like no one's going to check them. And then if you do that and expose them and say like they get kicked out of school or they get fired from a job, then they make it seem like you're the bad guy. So we're supposed to just let this slide. According to them, we are supposed to. Because historically, that's what they want. When they say make America great again, they want to go back to, this is just a fraction of what they want to go back to. Just a fraction. Just a little piece, a little swivel. But I think I pretty much got out everything I needed to say as it pertains to this, unless there's some more.
Well, the reason Ron DeSantis, according to the first video, you know, it's no big kids being kids according to Ron DeSantis. He won't look at that, and that's what the first gentleman was saying. But he don't give a shit.
At Ohio University,
and those politicians in South Carolina deal with critical race theory.
But it isn't our side.
But we don't get, but we don't want our kids. But we okay for our kids to mock. You can do the mocking. You can mock other cultures, but particularly black kids. But we don't want. Don't tell us the history. But as a jokingly, yeah, kids be kids. Let them go and dress and court to Ron DeSantis and these other people in these other states that want to ban it. So it's what I said before. People are subconsciously prejudiced. It's indirect prejudice and it's subconscious prejudice. Now we're seeing them come as one, and it's jumping from generation after generation.
Segment, a large segment of white women in this country and globally that keeps racism going. Now we all know Carolyn Bryant and many other white women have gotten people killed, have used their femininity to manipulate or get things done because they know they can't. But we forget that they are the first teachers of the child. So when they want to push hate, they push this woman's name, Sarah Clinton, I believe that's how you pronounce her last name. And you see this, she got gear on. Look at it, she had rounds, she came prepared. And a lot of these people train like the military. Wanna know why? Because a lot of these white nationalists are military, active duty, National Guard, Reserve, or former military. I'm telling you, I served with some, saw them on different posts when I was at Fort Stewart, Fort Knox, Fort Polk. You recognize, you know. Because when they enlist in the military, whether they go into the Army, Marines, or Navy, or Air Force, they let you know how they feel. And especially when 9/11 happened, when you had Americans openly saying they wanted to kill people because they identify as Muslim. They made a blanket statement that everybody who identifies as Muslim is un-American, they're terrorists, they need to be taken out. To this day, this is still pushed. Now, is it as intense in the media as it was? They're gone up on the internet. They don't have to use the networks to push their property. Well, Fox and Newsmax still do it. But they're on the internet. Now, I think that some people are hypocritical talking about another religion when Christianity has been still been used to excuse white supremacy. But I digress. This woman wanted a race war. Let me show you another image of her that you can see her face a lot better. This is her without the mask on. And this is her boyfriend that was going to join her. Okay? This woman, I want y'all to focus. Oops, I didn't mean to put it on. Sorry, I want y'all to see her face. I want y'all to understand that she's extremist.
This was Dixon was talking about.
White supremacist. She knew exactly what she was doing and what she wanted to accomplish. Let me go to the article real quick. Neo-Nazi girlfriend accused of plotting power grid attack was lifelong radical. One of the neo-Nazi lovers arrested last week for allegedly plotting to shoot up Baltimore power substations, historic predominantly black city, was described as a lifelong radical. One without with a bang before dying of kidney failure. Her brother told the Daily Beast on Wednesday. Sarah Sandel, 34, was arrested along with a long-distance fellow neo-Nazi boyfriend, Rhonda Russell, on account of conspiracy to destroy an energy facility. They charged a Atlanta couple of federal prison for 20 years each. But Sarah Brothers, I'm messing the name up, I apologize, doesn't expect she had lived long enough to serve a potential prison sentence, saying she could not make it through the trial in Maryland District Court. He says a doctor told Sarah late last year she likely just had 6 months to live because of kidney failure from decades of drug use. Now see, it's like when the guy, his son got convicted, and people tell this blue story. So because you made choices in your life, because you're sick, you want to push the hate on us like we did know himself, but okay. Luke 37 says he had recently grown close to his little sister after her release last year from prison, where she'd been locked up for a string of deaths, where she willingly shedded to demand cash and cigarettes from a convenience store. The siblings started talking and recently went on a hike last month, discussing politics, philosophy, how they believe the world aligns with technology is destroying society, he said. These are white supremacists too, folks. Luke added his sister always held Neil not for me, and never tried to act on him until this year. He's suspected to have anger came from drugs destroying her body, government not doing enough to keep narcotics from coming to the country. You chose to take narcotics. Nobody put a gun in his head, put this in your body. You chose that. Now, unless somebody forced you onto a drug, I don't feel sorry for you. Unless somebody told you to put liquor in your system, I don't feel sorry for you. So, I don't. Those are things that you've been warned. They've been warning people for drugs for years. For years. But that's going to make her racist. They don't wash, folks. She feel like society screwed me. She want to do anything that she could to fix it. So, on the local substation, so you can put black people in harm's way. They want a race war. That's how you fix it. Yeah, okay. Sarah's mother, Lynette, wasn't so sympathetic in receiving his Baltimore. She said her daughter racist views has got between them. She's been taking care of her kids. She doesn't plan to take any of her daughter court dates. I didn't discuss her life, Lynette said. She knew I didn't agree with it, so I really don't go there. I don't know much about her private life. Despite not seeing eye to eye with Lynette, easily she can see why her daughter thought not her power Baltimore's half a million residents might sound like a last robber for dying. I understand where she feels where she's coming from. Clendalu said the decline we're seeing in this country needs to be a rude awakening. She's also a white supremacist. See, she pretending that she ain't down with it, but she really is, because she knows she gotta live. I think that's one of the main things she was trying to do, change the course this country is going in, and try to do that for her kids. By going after black people who got nothing to her. Russell, a neo-Nazi supervisor, found the far-right Adam Wafer was jailed in 2018 for keeping illegal bomb-making materials in his apartment. A criminal complaint said that Lashley stuck a relationship with Sarah from a separate prison. Adam Wafer, which is German for atomic weapons, considered a small but dangerous group. The extremists watched the Western State Senate there in a statement to Daily Beast. A member was charged with hate crime for murdering gay Jewish college student in 2019 that apparently alleged he killed his girlfriend's parents for those supposed as Nazi views. In a separate killing in Tampa Apartment 2017 involved Russell roommate Devon Arthur, who was accused of fatally shooting two other people who lived there. Russell was not attached to killing the daughter, said, but the investigation uncovered bomb-making materials in his garage that fences led him behind bars for 5 years. Court filings didn't specify whether the seller was a member of Russell's hate group. An image released by authorities have shown Sarah posing on her rifle wearing tactical gear doing the swastika. Thomas Sabaski, a lead FBI agent, Baltimore field office, said in a news conference Monday, Sarah and Russell were racially or ethnically motivated extremists. Intentional attacks on the power grids in the U.S. have long been a focus of white supremacist groups. Last year, 2 high-profile incidents in North Carolina and Washington made national after 60,000 homes and businesses were left without power just before the holidays. An affidavit revealed that the couple's alleged plans was to cause cascading failure of Baltimore access to power during the winter storm, when most people are using electricity. Authorities said the devious plot was formed because the couple was spilling details about the attack to undercover informant. Sabaski says Sarah told the informant to help the latest city to waste, referring to Baltimore. Russell orchestrated the attack at his home in Orlando, Florida, alleging orders Sarah to target transformers, specifically because they custom made, could take almost a year to replace, the affidavit said. The affidavit mentioned Sarah's kidney seeds. She told an informant the attack was way of accomplishing something worthwhile before dying. Authorities found a witness statement for Sarah, which they described as the de facto manifesto, and painted pictures of Sarah seemingly troubled mind. I would sacrifice everything for my people just to have a chance for our cause to succeed, the statement says. Unfortunately, I have very little experience with firearms. Once I get my license, I'll at least get a couple of hours practice. What a shame I don't have a rifle yet. The storm is perfect time to hit some substations and knock out power. The statement almost referenced Hitler, the Unabomber, and the Norwegian mass killer, according to an affidavit. Luke said his sister was smart growing up, but always a bit different. He remembers strange things she said, like, she could taste colors.
So another 10 minutes, I'm going to cut the video short. It's kind of long.
Ideology. He said Sarah had no plans to undergo dialysis, a procedure with the waste products in excess of fluid from the blood and kidneys failed to prolong her life. She was on drugs for a lot of years and felt society failed her. That was her whole problem in life, just drugs. Drugs destroy her. It's just bullshit. Sarah's mother Naja, she not never see her daughter again. She said she's plans to focus on raising her grandkids and stay with any criminal trial. Unless there's a miracle, she most likely die in prison, Ned said. Now, as I said before, you have people like this woman who made poor choices in life.
Right.
And she figured, if I'm gonna suffer, I'm gonna make everybody else suffer. In her mind, she thinks she's better than black people. So she's gonna make black people suffer who done nothing to her.
Right.
She made these choices.
Right.
But her hate for black people so much, she figured I'm gonna buy the blaze of glory.
Right.
I keep telling y'all, these white women are the ones who keep this shit going. Now, if you're a white woman, this is not you, and I'm not talking about you. But you gotta admit that a lot of these stories music is centered around white women yelling. And to be the first ones, if you go back and look at them old film of the civil rights era, you see a lot more white women get more aggressive. You see a lot of pictures of them yelling. A lot of them egging their husbands and sons and brothers on. Then again, let me show you. I'm gonna play some audio for you guys so you guys can understand the story.
Kind of low. Video kind of low. I'm about to cut off right here. But I'm gonna cut off right here. And I'm gonna comment on the way out. To about, I got 4:20 on my, but I'm going the next 10 minutes. I made videos in the past about this. Now you see what I'm talking about. The video is pretty much explained right there. If people want to sit back and deny, saying that it's getting better, deny that these are just certain incidents, the blackface, the hatred towards black people is real. The envious, the jealousy towards black people is real. And yet, we're one of the groups of people that everybody seems to come at. I know right now there's Jewish people going through something. Certain Asian groups are going through something. But the real hatred has always been black people. Either they make fun of you culturally, or they're trying to find a way to destroy you. in that way. This is what's extreme. What started out sarcasm, and it's like, what did black people do to any of these people? What did black people do to her? What did they do? What did the black people do? Why do girls had to risk getting skinned? Now, she probably don't know. Probably the next couple, each time she get that stuff off her face, she don't even know that stuff could have damaged her face. Trying to play a practical joke, putting black, not with makeup, literally with spray paint, which was the most asinine, stupid thing you can do, because you don't even know what the chemicals is in that, and she ain't gonna think it's so funny. Whatever afterwards, when the girl she sprayed her face with, and she messed up her skin, she ain't gonna think it's so funny, trying to mock people. Who does that? What groups of people go around, pick at a certain group of people, and do that? Why? Why are you mocking other cultures? I mean, whatever holiday, why do you do that? What is it about us you don't like that you gotta mimic and mock, trying to get attention? I just, and then somebody like Ron DeSantis and people, this is proof that, and when it comes to what's happening in schools, but yet black children have to be subjugated to girls that have to be go through something like that. But we're not a racist country, but yet we have generations of kids doing that. We're not a racist country, though. But it's just a joke. But it's like he said, but you're not the one being affected. And I show you in the video, it's a history of this. A history that goes back to the 1900s. People say, why don't you let the past go? How can you let the past, when it keeps showing up in every century? Every decade, someone's reminding you of the past. Black people, why don't you get over it? When you see it right there, and towards the end, a woman's trying to target a substation to knock out the power. It could affect other people, but it was so angry at black people who had never did anything to them. Never did anything to them. That's some serious, evil, wicked hatred for somebody, for people, just because of the complexion of their skin. I hope this video goes out, man, because I want to show you this is the hidden, indirect racism that we talk about, and people are still denying. You heard what that first man was saying. They want to keep going on and on and on and on. The first guy, the white guy, he was right. He was absolutely right. They want to keep hold on to it. And sadly, some people who are Christians agree with it, but they won't speak up on it. That's why this country is going to be judged. One of the 10, 20 reasons why the United States is going to be judged. This is the truth. This is what you understand. It doesn't go away. And I know some people probably looked at my videos, talk about issues like that, and got offended, but it's a reality. When you're not the people that are being affected by it. We see it. And every time it transforms, we onto it. If it's satire, we onto it. And you see celebrities, we onto it. And it's okay. And sadly, we agree with it. And I've been a victim of it myself. And I've seen it firsthand as a real cold joke, like I told you, when somebody was supposed to be my friend, and this person who was white had his buddies come over the house dressed as KKK. in front of in that day. Not only it was neighbors over there when they did that shit, but it was all funny. And like Turing said, that's true. Some people will do that. I'm not saying all, but some will play that psychological game. It's like what is the point being around black people? I mean, what is the point? You know, if you don't like us that much, why do you keep doing stuff like that? But I think it's something in some people that just have to. They can't. It's a deep hatred, a deep resentment, and I think it turned into jealousy and envious of black people. Well, I think from seeing us on TV and media, whatever, I think there are some people out there that just who are not only just white people, but other people just they have a serious hatred and jealousy, and so they something is in their mind, man, that thinks like this, man. It's like, why would you spend all that time mocking some people? Why do you mocking other cultures or religion? And I'm sorry to say, it's mostly white people that do things like that. Let's call it what it is. I mean, they don't get. It could be Asian people that they mocking. They could be mocking any Middle Eastern person in the traditional role. And you do that. You don't. I'm serious, and I'm sorry, but it comes out of the Caucasian. Black people don't got time to be sitting up there, even jokingly, going through all that stream to make fun of other people. We don't have that time on our hands. You ain't on a radar like that, man. You're surreal, and I don't know what it is, man. I can't figure out to this day. Every time you try to be someone's friend, it's like subconsciously they can't see past your color of your skin. That's a shame. There are people out there that can't see past your color of your skin, and so they figure out a way, a demonic way to mock you and mock where you come from. And then the people that keeps people divided. Because it's going to be a time where some people is going to push people to divide people, and it's what I think that's their goal, to push people to divide. Because black people is going to be warped with that, like damn it. And I know because I went through that, man. When they pulled that prank on me, I didn't know. Is this something deep down? I start questioning what white people really true, what they really think. Luckily, it almost got to the point I turned prejudiced because of what was coming at me, being around somebody who I thought was a friend, who was white. But I said, is this what they really think about? Is this what they really do? And to the point that I had to go away to school, and God had to show me that not all people are the same, James. But I could see by going through this experience and it's traumatic that mentally this can happen. To the point that when you start looking at people, you don't really trust it. It's the same way, like, man, what black people think that, but if you see what black people have to go through, like any other people, it's like, and you the people that's mocking the culture that has nothing to do, have no dealings with you. Like I said, and it took me for a while, and but I didn't look at that person the same no more. Like, man, it's like, you really got that prejudice, don't you? Oh, I'm not prejudiced. Why did you do that? Why would you make a prank like that? And he had another friend that how I got introduced to him, because my other friend is black. But he liked him. He respected. They didn't do that around him, my friend John, but they did it around me when John left to the service. And I just wanted to be, and I just all wanted at the time was just be a friend to him. And this is the way this is. I mean, I don't feel like that now, but I'm not prejudiced like that, but that I can see why some black people feel the way that they do. Because like if you see like, why you keep doing this, and then after a while, it's like when a good person come around, who may be white, they might that might have a setback, because what they do, and even though you might not be that person had nothing to do with it if you're a white person listening to the video, but this is the reason why. We see this coming at us all the time for nothing, something we didn't even do. Minding our own business. It's like, man, I've never seen the people go through something like this. To this extreme. There's other people go through prejudice, but to the point that's like you on a person's mind to the point that you gotta mock to see what they're doing. It's like you gotta control them, obsessed with them. That's crazy. To the point that you gotta see where they're going. You gotta be all up in their business. It's like you have some kind of control. It's something wrong with some individuals who think like that. Who are like that. It's one thing. It's like, yeah. As I was raised to see people as people, but you learn along the way that not everybody see life the same. Because subconsciously, in their eyes, through their mind, that precede their eyes, you the enemy. So, I'm going to cut this video short, but yeah, it's not going away. It's going from one generation after another generation. And how old those girls? Like you say, was born beyond 2000. We can't make that excuse. It's going to keep going on and on and on. Because one generation is going to keep doing it. Do this. Boy, these guys really get aroused. Do something like this. This is their month. They knew what they were doing. Because someone provoked them to do it. They learned it probably somewhere at home or among their friends or family. That's what caused them girls to do that. Bet you. Or they seen something on TV, and somewhere in their sick mind and deep in their spirit, they know that stuff is cruel. They got good sense. They saw someone around them older doing that. But you see where the history of it came from. And I was showing you from history to the present. But they telling black people and other people, get over it. But that's the past. But you just see the past coming to the present. What them girls did with blackface. Even with celebrities. And you see it takes to the next step. People start seeing things on TV, then they see it. What that woman that tried to shoot out the power plant. Alright then guys. Till next time, take care.